There is something about us human beings that likes to stay in the past. I realized that this week as I was visiting my parents and noticed how of all the pictures they have of us kids on the wall, most of them are ancient. I don't know if this is true of your family as well. Not very many recent pictures. And my dad, who turned 82 this week, has a bunch of trophies he won in competitions, none of them probably more recent than 50 years ago. We like to stay in the past, maybe because it's comfortable. Maybe because it's what we already know. Maybe there's something we earned in the past that we're proud of. But our readings today invite us to think about God differently. God doesn't live in the past. God always lives in the now. And there's no more amazing way to start off our readings focusing not on the past, but on the now, than the reading we got today from the book of Isaiah the prophet, who leads off with the most incredible, most powerful, earth-shaking event the Israelite people could imagine. The Exodus out of Egypt. With all the miracles and signs and plagues and parting of the Red Sea and all of that saved them. And Isaiah has God telling the people, the events of the past remember not. See, I am doing something new. God isn't limited even by the most amazing things he's done before. There's always something else. Because God is infinite power and infinite creativity. And sometimes that's hard for us to understand and appreciate, even for us Catholics. By the time we get to the 5th Sunday of Lent, a lot of times we're already tired of whatever sacrifice we chose for this season, whatever it is we were going to give up, whatever it was we were going to do extra. And sometimes we're tempted to think, all this for something that happened 2,000 years ago? Jesus already died and rose. What am I doing? And our readings today are inviting us to think about the fact that even in 2016, God continues to do new things for us. God invites us to a new resurrection this Easter that is different than what happened 2,000 years ago, or even different than what happened last year. To continue the effort, to continue the journey towards that new, deeper relationship with the Lord, to continue whatever it is, because God always has a new beginning ready for us. He always has that promise of new life that is better and richer and deeper than it ever had been before with him, ready for us right around the corner. And that is what this gospel of Jesus and the woman caught in adultery is really inviting us to understand. Was adultery serious? Of course it was. In the early church, there was a question that because it was practically as serious as murder, could it be forgiven? But even for this serious sin, Jesus invites this woman to new life, to a new, fresh start, to a new relationship with him. Is he letting her off easy? Is he saying he doesn't care about what she did in the past? In some sense, yes. But he says to her, focusing on the present, go and do not sin anymore. And Jesus invites us into that same fresh start, that same new beginning and new life every time we go to the sacrament of confession or penance or reconciliation or whatever you were taught the sacrament was called. And I cannot tell you how many times as I'm sitting in the confessional that somebody comes in and shares with me how much courage it took to come in that door, because they were afraid they were going to be judged, or they were afraid that the time that they had spent away was going to be held against them, or something else. But the sacrament of confession also is about now more than it is about the past. Yes, it's about forgiveness of what we've done, but even more than that, it's about the forgiveness God offers us now. And in fact, you could say that it's less about us at all than it is about God. Think about it for a second. Sometimes we think that it's all about us. I'm the one who sinned. I'm the one who decided this sin was too much for me to bear, or decided it had been too long, or decided I need to set things right with God. And we think the sacrament is about us, when in reality, the invitation to come back, to come home, to set things right, that impulse begins with God. Us receiving the sacrament is only our participation, our acceptance, our willingness to say, okay, God, I'll do it. Because yet again, in this beautiful sacrament, God is saying to us, see, I want to do something new, even in your life, erasing everything that had gone past. And our invitation, as we receive that sacrament, as we receive any sacrament, is to stretch ourselves and try and be more like God. For us to wipe away some grudge we've been holding and forgive somebody else, not to remember the past. Or maybe to swallow our pride, that dignity or whatever it is we've been trying to hold on to for so long, and for us to say, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? Or maybe not even to focus on the events of the past that are bad, even the ones that were great. That good deed that I did, and I said, this is my good deed for the month. For the month? What about now? What can I do today? That's the invitation God is inviting me to and every one of us toward, to think about the now. Because now is where God lives. And now is the time that God is inviting us for that new relationship with him. Easter is just 2 weeks away. Holy Week begins next week. Forget the fact that we've passed 5 weeks of Lent. Now is where God is inviting us to start fresh, to go deeper into that relationship with him. Let him do new things in our lives.